So, the last time we played, you left Antogard, heading back towards Polythreme, taking a necessary detour to the adjacent mountain. Here at the center of an old caldera, you were to release the imprisoned Gesinthier, Red Dragon and father to Bakala, honoring your deal with the dwarves of Hytune. As you arrived, however, you'd found the construct supposedly guarding the prison destroyed, and in the wreckage you found a rather traumatized sword hiding in the radiant remains of clockwork. You investigated further and, to little surprise, quickly came face to face with another agent of the Dominion. The hulking creature informed you then they'd been waiting for you, having learned of your plans, and you were immediately embroiled in a fight, which lasted several minutes, bringing some of you to the edge of your abilities, even as you managed to exploit the creature's weakness and submerged it in the present magma. In the end, the fight concluded when you managed to distract the enemy, releasing the ancient seals under constraints holding the figure and forcing the enemy to retreat, stating they would gladly accept your declaration of an all-out war. We start today's session as the hall around you is rocked by tremors, shaking dust and debris from the walls and ceiling. The infernal seal upon the door and the platform before you seems to writhe as the glow present inside it fades rapidly. And you are able to move want to.
Glancing back at everybody else, how does Bacala look? Is she injured?
Um, it's difficult to tell. You definitely see sort of scorch marks across the armor. There were a couple of hits that she definitely must have taken, but you don't see any obvious injuries or wounds. Vidar looks pretty bad, but he's in the
Yeah.
process of healing himself.
Everything is shaking.
Right now it is.
As I ride up, did all of those swords explode? I guess what I'm asking is, are there any remnants of our enemy, like any of the pieces of the swords they cast out around,
At the
or
moment that they left, you saw the swords just sort of melt down and crumble. There are remains left, these sort of pieces of blackened debris that make small piles, but most of the mass of the sword seems to have just dissipated, burned away.
what about once I'm up here? Are there any pieces that we managed to chip off of him?
You don't really see any pieces of the creature itself. At some points, amidst sort of, debris from the cool lava that you then that has then broken, there's probably a lot of detritus and sort of blackened shards, stone and whatnot all around. So it's difficult to differentiate between those what remain, the blades.
I will try to collect some of the. You said the swords. There's like a little bit of dust left in piles, so I'll try to collect some of that.
As you move forward, as you ride up and start looking for these things. The heat begins to build more and more, sort of sweltering, emanating stronger than before from beyond the massive gate. And you start collecting some of the debris scattered across the ground.
Back away from that gate.
Soleil's trying to calm down Hux, because Hux seems very angry at wizards in general.
Yeah.
The heat reaches its height, and it almost feels like the air itself is about to catch fire, burst into flames. When the heat suddenly begins to dissipate, the pulsing red seal loses its glow fully, loses its color. The tendrils that are sort of stretched across the door, across the ground, lie still, turning to ash as if burning out before your eyes. The immense heat that had dominated the room pulled back, draining away behind the sealed gate that now lies utterly still. Even the red-hot magma spilling forth from crevices and holes cools and hardens into black obsidian, like a waterfall suddenly freezing. The tremors subside and an odd calm lies over the rapidly cooling hall.
I'm
That's
gonna cast some healing on myself.
good idea, Huxley. Yep. Well, I might do too.
Keep making my way slowly back to the others. But I'm mostly watching the door at this point.
There is this long moment of silence. Huxley begins to heal themselves, and you making your way across the room. Before you hear this wrenching of metal and the echoing creak of the gate slowly opening. There's this
I will
orange
stop backing away.
glow that falls from the gate as it splits open, revealing utter darkness beyond. The only exception is a small figure stepping through and out even before the double doors fully.
Start nudging Bakala forward. So she's in front.
The figure is relatively small, especially compared to the enemy you just had. But with the way they carry themselves, this seemingly immense weight turning these ashen roots to grey dust beneath their feet. You know that before you stands the dragon and once ruler of Polythreme, the Cynthia. Just outside the gate, the dark-skinned dwarf stops, red eyes scanning the surroundings and pausing as he catches sight of you.
Evelyn will kind of make a...
Right, then, who or what am I burning? What affords me this delectable taste of free air?
As you push Makala forward, you see her
Gently.
sort of just following the movements, but otherwise she is completely frozen, staring at the dwarf on the platform, seemingly unable to utter a word.
We've come here to release you back to your kin and hopefully aid in the fight against the blight.
Maybe we commemorate the occasion. A feast. roasted to perfection.
That sounds excellent.
Carla still doesn't speak, but you see her now sort of stepping away from being, nudged forward by you. Unclasping the fastenings of her helmet and removing it. And as you reach the top of it,
This should be a happy reunion time. A feast sounds like a great way to celebrate
you
that.
see the red eyes shift.
Daughter of mine, you're here. So I am freed by kin. Where is he, then, the old water breather?
I am here on behalf of all Dwaraskar, father, to bring you home. It was a part of a deal. You've never heard Bakala sound so small as she does by now. Her usual roughness and boastful demeanor are completely gone.
And what of Polythreme? Those pansy wizards agree to all this?
They kind of ran away. I
That
mean, from
is
like,
why we are here. As one wizard no longer affiliated with the academy, you are released, Kazinthian, on condition you return to your people and harbor no ill will for the city.
You see this wide smile that is into your hand fade a little as at the sight of the dark.
Conditions? Boy, what of them? Are you even aware of the kind of forces?
Father, please.
You are right. Today is a day of celebration. I accept your release of me, and I will go see my brother. The wizards, no longer affiliated, have my thanks.
He gives you a very mocking bow.
we have a ship with basting supplies, I suppose, nearby.
I've seen rock for longer than any dwarf. Have us return unto the sky.
He gestures forward and simply begins.
Hugs whispers to Shalay, I thought we were freeing a dragon.
I think he can like transform into a dragon, like you. You can transform into stuff, right? And I think he can do too. But it's the other way around. He usually is probably a dragon, but he can transform into a dwarf.
Oh, right. I should ask him how to do that.
Also, how likely do you think would it be to ask him for a ride? I've never, ridden a dragon. It would be like a tale to tell for future generations. Let's follow them for now. I'll take Winona and slowly follow them.
Ellen will kind of linger back to walk with Bakala if she's kind of towards the back.
Mm-hmm.
And try and do a side-eye, like, medicine check on her. She seem relatively healthy? I know a lot of our Grumpinians don't.
Roll me an insight check as well as a medicine check.
Realize I forgot to
What you roll?
I think the insight. I'm trying to remember what my stats are.
Oh, okay.
Um, insight was a 4 on the roll. I think my insight is maybe a +1, or it's a negative. But it's +1 for like tops. Medicine is probably at least a 23. I can't remember. It's higher.
Okay. You look over to Bakala, and at least on the surface, she seems uninjured. You don't see any wounds or any sort of impact on the armor. You don't even see any really significant dents. You see a couple of scorch marks, but they seem to be mostly superficial. But you've also never seen her as nervous as she is.
Sorry,
So-
medicine was 8.
The two of them didn't like exchange a hug or anything.
Mm.
Oh. Okay.
I'll at least quietly offer Makala you alright there?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine it's been some time since you've seen him at this point.
It has. Even as you get response, her eyes are still forward towards the group walking ahead. And you can tell that her attention is definitely not on Iconis.
Right.
You return to the hall of the bridge, and much like the room before, the sheer heat is all but gone. The long hallway is suddenly much darker than before, save for a soft glow still emanating from the space beneath. The enormous flow of magma below the bridge has all but frozen. A mass of cooling rock only interrupted by a few large fissures harboring the remnants of this heat. The metal structure you begin to walk on is still warm to the touch, as if retaining the memory of the inferno that raged hereafter. Anything you do while you cross the bridge?
Do we see any sight of dorks?
You see dorks at the end of the bridge, currently curiously sort of staring over the edge of the bridge towards the cooling volcanic stone.
Near enough that we would be passing dorks, or still kind of off to the side?
You're currently crossing the bridge. Are you simply walking across towards door?
Yeah.
I think so.
And as you cross, and the noise of your footsteps come closer. Dorks would sort of shift her gaze towards the rest of you, and you'd hear her. How'd it go? There was a lot of lights and flashing, cold, suddenly very cold.
Well, we beat up a wizard. It ran away. And this is. Do you go by former king or just Cynthia or any specific title?
He does not seem to acknowledge your question or Dorks as he mocked him off towards the end.
Anyway, we're on the way to a feast.
Dorks
Are you
appears
hungry?
to still be somewhat agitated, especially as Cynthia passed. You see Dorks sort of flinch a little, scurry to the side. But her eyes no longer dart around nearly as much. Her voice no longer trembles, and it seems like the shock is slowly now. I mean, I could eat. I really should get back to the forge.
Are you sure there's still someone waiting for you there?
I'd hope so. We came here, and the thing was already in here, so the forge was fine when I left. Did you
Probably.
see
best
the
to head
forge?
back.
Did something happen?
We just got war declared on us. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that like everyone just died where you worked. So
War. Well, then we should definitely go to the forge.
Maybe. Oh, we are. I promised the king a feast, so we gotta do that first, though. He kind of promised himself a feast, to be honest, but
we kind of deserve a feast. We should go for that one first.
yeah.
You hear them sort of talking about peace. You like further in the back. Here, Bakala just sort of mumble under her breath. I think I know what he means by a feast. Whatever.
This is my concern anyways, when you mentioned feast from the very get-go, so Evelyn's just already still very on edge.
As you climb up and out the staircase, vapors from the boiling lake walk slowly down through the doorway up. Even as the air turns fresher, it oddly becomes warmer as you finally exit. You can see the lake before you is no longer boiling. Softly, vapors still rise from the water, which must be searing hot still. But the upward streams of steam are gone. The bubbling surface of the water lies eerily still now. Cynthia continues to walk forward. His
Gonna continue to
attention
watch him.
skyward. As you look up, where his gaze goes, through the slowly vanishing clouds and the fog, you can see this distant, stark glow. And even as he reaches the shore of the rocky beach, Cynthia continues walking, deeper and deeper into the once boiling water. But even as he continues to walk further, clearly unbothered by the heat, instead of submerging, you see his form growing and growing. First to the image of a dwarf slightly larger than Red, and continuing past the size of the enemy you fought inside and further. As he continues to grow, fire begins to belch from cracks in his skin. Smoke and fresh steam begin to envelop him as you see his skin begin to shift. You see blood-red scales emerge like they were rising to the surface of his skin, and his form elongates and stretches. For a moment, obscured through fire, smoke, and steam, Gisinthia's shifting shape appears like this horrific inferno broiling at the center of the lane. And then suddenly the cloud vanishes along with the remaining vapors of the lake, pushed aside and ripped into these shreds from the force of the air billowing outwards from the beat of colossal wings. The gargantuan ancient red dragon then glides over to you to land upon the cliffs right above the gate. The wind of this flight is immense, sending pebbles and rocks off the shoreline clattering, moving ripples of scorching water onto the shore in these smaller waves. And from where the dragon sits above you, the blazing heat from inside the structure now radiates down to you.
Fox is in absolute awe. Just like, wow.
Saleh has also this longing gaze now that he sees him like fully.
Voracious.
You see this long clawed arm reach down and scoop up the collar and a portion of the gravel beach.
No reason to draw things out. To hide here, then.
The voice echoes as it booms through the valley, and you brace as you see the dragon's wings stretch.
I have an ostrip!
Then beat once, sending this hurricane flying across you, beating twice and again. The dragon rises up into the sky and darts away. The wind around you slowly begins to settle, the dust in the air sinking to the ground, and the disturbed water evening out once again.
That was delightful. Hopefully, the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, he said he'd go to hide here. Seems to be headed in that direction.
And may feast along the way.
You know, that's not a problem.
Seems
don't
like
think
quite
so.
the
It's-
intense
it's-
fella. Could have at least said thank you or something.
So,
He did.
One of the construct in there brought me here from the forge. Do you mind if I get a ride back?
To Polythreme?
No, the forge.
Okay. You keep saying forge, and like the forge in Polythreme is the forge I know of, so.
Well, there's
what-
a forge in the mount. I was not supposed to say that, was I?
Yes, you should definitely take us to the forge in the mountains.
It's quite alright. It is the forge of the Polythreme guard. You have heard of them. We have not been there. I was looking to avoid going there for risk of exposure, but given our current circumstances, it may be prudent to pay the forge a visit after all.
Why? What would you expect us to find there or do there?
Well, if your concerns are correct, then the forge may be in trouble, which would weaken the city. If the forge is alright, then we should at the very least drop off the door there.
Well, then we should be swift with it. I think we'll begin making our way back to the ship.
You all
Me.
make your way along the gravel beach towards where the Vidar stands close to the Vidart, sorry. And you board. Is there anything else you do before you set up again?
Is there anybody that's severely injured at this point still?
I'm on 14 health.
That is very injured, yeah.
I'm still bloodied.
Salate doesn't look super great. He's just barely away from being bloodied, but he's not bloodied. But even though he looks way worse than Winona, he's gonna come for you to ask to mend her because she took a little bit of damage, like 15 points, and he's like, oh no, she needs to be mended.
Right, I'll look at her in a moment. And she's gonna go over to Huck. Healing.
Mm-hmm.
To cure wounds. Do se- that'll be 30. $49 points of heat.
49?
49.
Feel much better now.
And I'll see if I can cast Mending on Winona. There's no heals.
Oh, if you cast mending and succeed on a DC 15 check, it regains 2d8 hit points. It says. In
DC 15 what
thing.
kind of check?
it just says a DC 15 check. It doesn't really tell which kind of check it is. Guess.
Tools. Tinker's tools or Smith's tools. Easy enough. Efficient.
Oh, it's okay. Mending spell or the check with the tools. Okay, so if you just cast the mending spell, it should just heal 2d8 hit
Gotcha.
points. Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be
So yeah, she just lost 15, so probably just casting it twice would probably fix her up.
6, 7, so 13. Still need one more.
Yeah,
Alright,
just
and another 10. So
good. Winona looks great again. Most important part.
you can. It's probably written over Evelyn's face that she's like, whatever. This is stupid.
And yeah, while you do that, it just
Wizard
it
horse.
just takes a couple of seconds probably to cast it 3 times. But as you do that, he's gonna be like, "Oh, there's a dent here you missed," and he's just like going all this like he's just like he doesn't say it like in a way to like annoy you. He's just seems to be very worried about Winona looking great. It's just he doesn't even think about he might annoy you with this. But yeah, he's just trying to help.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting in the corner, slowly bandaging burns all over my body. So, you know.
are you bloodied?
Yeah, I have like a third of my hit points.
Okay. I can do a healing for you.
I mean, much appreciated. I don't know if we have enough time to rest a little bit before we get there.
I mean, she can at least do that on the way, I would think.
Yeah.
Lex is just sitting somewhere in a corner, drawing pictures of dwarfs and dragons.
On the wall in the corner.
While he also is now he looks like a dwarf with like flaming red hair.
Nice.
That's great.
Shortly after you board the airship, you hear this quick drum of its engines. And as the airship takes off and flies forward, it barely accelerates. The engines only thrum for several minutes before the dart already begins to descend again, tilting into this glide, passing between the peaks of the mountain. You leave the caldera, flying over canyons and cliffs along the mountain chain. And after these several minutes pass, again your vision of the surrounding landscape shifts as the ship passes the threshold of another illusion. As it descends into this large canyon in between the mountains, the ship comes to a soft landing at the foot of a very high cliff. Much like at the edge of the lake, there is a massive iron gate set into the stone of the mountain.
Does it look like there's any signs of any sort of attack?
Roll me a perception.
I'm gonna roll perception at the same time, knowing that Soleil has more of a keen eye for this. Will at the same point in time be like, while she's looking around, any possibility of being able to take your eyes off of Winona for a moment and see if there's any signs of attack or any concern? Since you mentioned the forge potentially being in danger. Delay? Sorry, Silas.
Yes.
If you look around, you happen to notice any other than Winona.
Swords falling from the sky, perhaps? Looking around for swords falling from the
Yeah,
sky.
just taking a look around
You can
and
also give me a perception check.
trying to figure out
Your
What she
military
means.
expertise.
Natural one. Winona is everything I see.
You see Soleil give this sort of half-hearted effort of looking around, but you see every now and then his eyes sort of dart back towards Winona. Generally looking around,
Dent that
you
horse later on.
don't see really any signs of activity. Aside from, everything being a rocky canyon, there are no signs of any fighting, no scorch marks. The door itself, made out of iron, seems to not have any marks on it at all. No dents, no carvings, no damage as far as you can tell.
By the way, that was one of the rare times I actually hoped for a natural one because it was just perfect.
It was
You see
1,000%
doors
when you're
already
sleeping
sort
gonna
of-
go down your horse.
Heading forward
Oh no. Poor Winona.
out on the deck and begin to slide down the side.
Perfect. Can I just follow Dorks?
Yeah. Dorks wanders up to the gate, and you see Dorks sort of rummaging around her bag for a bit until she pulls out a stone which she holds up to the gate, which, in response, slowly swings open. Inside, you see a long and darkened tunnel. But as the gate finishes swinging open, you see lights flicker to life, one after another, down this entire hallway. And you see that there are iron walls. It's more than a tunnel, it is this hallway with offshoots to the left and right. Smaller ways leading off doorways, and in the light of some of those lanterns, you see movement. You can't quite make out their forms, but in the sort of glimmer of the light, you can definitely see that there are constructs moving about, made of metal that reflect the light. Dork, seemingly without hesitation, begins to walk forward and down this hallway.
Gonna keep following Dorks.
I'm gonna take a look at Vidara. And how long has she been working here?
I'm somewhat unsure. I'm sure if he remembers, Reginald would probably know better.
Oh well. If he remembered, a lot of things were much clearer, I guess.
You can ask when we return.
How about you ask him? Maybe he gives you answers that are more reliable than he gives to us.
Whenever we talk, his mind inevitably wanders towards old research subjects, things that are long concluded and such.
So, Dorks, these constructs are cool. You make some of these?
Yeah, some. Mostly maintenance. Lots of work going on in the forges.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Materials, refined metals and such.
How long you been working here?
Oh, well, it's been a year now.
Oh,
So
that dragged
shortly
us,
after our adventure.
in the mines, yeah. That was...
Yeah.
Wow. Who's your? Do you work for a boss here, or like, who's in charge of the forge?
Oh yeah, there's a forge master. Well, they're all called forge masters. So
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Which ones though?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Wait, could you introduce us maybe?
Oh, well, that's where I'm going right now.
Oh, perfect.
Does anyone else go inside?
Oh, I'm
Guess-
so torn. Everything
Or
looks
do you guys
sick.
stay outside on the ship? You see them at this point pretty far down this long hallway.
I know Rhett gets himself in trouble when talking.
What?
Sometimes he does it wonderfully, and sometimes he just causes commotion. There's like this audible sigh from Evelyn, and this like slump of her shoulders before she will go ahead and follow after the two.
Do you try to catch up, or do you just sort of keep at the
She's gonna
distance?
keep trying to keep them in her sight, but she's not gonna dart after them.
Okay.
Fox is
So if they look
definitely
like
following.
they're going around a corner that she can't see,
Let's see.
she'll like
Well,
pick up her
that
pace
will
a bit.
probably be his favorite fortune. You continue walking down this hallway past iron door after iron door. Occasionally you see a hallway branching off, and you see these constructs sort of wandering about in this. Every now and then you see constructs even wandering about above you. These spider-like clockwork constructs sort of carrying small containers around the place. And after a couple 100 feet of this hallway,
Rocks fall, we die.
60 d8 bludgeoning damage
Uh-huh.
from those ones. You see Dorg stop in front of one of these doors. The hallway itself you see coming to an end just a few couple of feet further down. There are just a few more doors. And you see Dorg knock on one of them. As there's no response, you see Dorks again hold this stone that she opened the gate with to the door, and it slides to the side. There's this wash of warm air, which at this point you're fairly used to, as you see the red glow east from inside the portal. And Dork steps inside. I'm going to assume you follow.
Yes.
You enter accompanied by the loud clanking of a hammer. In the distance, very quickly you spot these arrayed suits of armor. At first, it does look like there's just a line of the Polythreme guards then. But as you continue walking towards the forging, the clanking of the hammer, you notice that not a single one of them move. And you see this forge master, a warforged themselves, moving back and forth between these suits, exchanging plates, placing them on the anvil, and hammering them into shape. Only as you reach the staircase up and you see Dorks, instead of hopping across this stream of molten metal, just sort of climbing up the last 5 feet over the edge. You see the Warforged look up.
Just as I'm in here, does this place look like ancient? Like broken down?
It looks definitely somewhat in disrepair. You can see that with some of the structures, especially some of the metal ones, they seem in good shape. Especially where the flow of molten metal seems to run along and descend into an abyss later on. There's no leaks, there's no holes, but the stone structure has definitely seen better days. Welcome back, Dork. I assume everything went as usual, which begs the question why we have visitor.
It was very not usual. There were some problems, and they came to sort of check if everything was all right here, because I may have lost all of the construct.
Oh, it wasn't your fault, ours.
And how did that happen?
Well, there was this rather large wizard warrior.
Yeah, like a big thing that had like a lot of blades, and it was like,
Yeah.
Same one that attacked Polythreme a couple months ago.
One of those types. Yep.
yeah, and then it destroyed all of the things, but
Very
everything
nearly.
else worked out.
It nearly killed us, to be honest. But yeah, but eventually things worked out in our favor with Cynthia.
And the dragon is released,
Yes, indeed.
and you are back. Construct can be replaced. You've done an adequate job. Thank you for returning Dorks to the forge.
Yes. Also wanted to deliver a warning that this particular individual has generally declared war on Polythreme. Its guards, everybody.
It follows their method. They have attacked the city.
Yeah.
You are still here. Do you desire some sort of reward?
Oh, if that's appropriate, I mean, I just want to see that the city's safe. And that is a job that we have somewhat taken upon ourselves in obviously fighting these individuals, so I'm not sure if...
You see the Warforged walk to a crane. And you see them pull out this breastplate of plate armor. That, similar to the armors behind it, has these yellow stripes across.
Indeed, a
You
symbol of
may
alignment.
Take this, a prototype guard plate. It was made long ago for the Polythreme guard. It is unrefined. It is not adjusted to their size. It might fit you better.
Much appreciated. I will do my best to present the image of a protector of the city, as would befit the breastplate.
As he pulls on this breastplate and places it on the chest, which he closes. Even though he sort of puts it in front of him, he makes no effort to walk towards you.
Yeah, that's fine.
As you reach out for the breastplate, you see him sort of turn. I assume this is all right with the Polythreme god.
Is he asking me?
He seems to be looking towards the armors. And then you see one of them move and turn towards him.
It should be all right.
I'm like somewhat startled because I did not assume they were here. Well, good. I hope that you, strengthen your defenses in case there is war coming here. And we'll be on our way because you seem like a businessman. Or, yep, busy warforged.
I'll maybe see you at Quatermain sometime.
Yeah, stop by. We didn't really get lunch. Like I promised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another time, maybe.
Yeah, we need to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year since you started working here, and I haven't seen you, basically.
Yeah, I sent like a package one time, but I haven't really.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'll visit Reginald one time.
Sounds good.
So you begin to head out and you hear the clanking return to the hall behind you, and you head down the hallway with the prototype guard plate in it. Returning once again to the dark. Secure in the knowledge that the forge has not been.
That's really good.
I'm interested to see if you guys will use it, because it has some drawings.
If we use what?
The item you just done.
Oh,
Is this like 20 plus the standard dex? I think it's 2.
Yeah. So it counts as a half plate that is starts at 20. Basically like a plate armor has 18.
Yes,
This one's-
amazing. I'll put that on right now.
Question.
Oh boy.
Are you proficient with half plate?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a
you
valor
can wear it
bard.
without any issues.
I mean, it is a regular medium armor, right? Yeah. Yep. I gotta unattune that.
hazard mode.
I'm always in hazard mode, but anytime I open my mouth.
But you don't get the benefit of your other magical
Yeah, all your other magical items are
effects or items.
gone for that time.
For hazard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tensor's transformation also, I believe, does not let you come down. Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. But I can end it at will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Then, as you return to the airship again, is there anything you do?
Hux, do you realize that you kind of look like the dragon dwarf guy now?
You. Thank you.
It looks. What I'm wondering is that I mean, you can turn into that guy. Does that mean you could also turn into the dragon?
You really want to. But dragons are just so strong and big, and I don't think I can turn into anything that big. And
Yet.
you know, yet, yeah. I wanted
You
to
just have to
ask him,
train.
but then he just flew away.
What? Could you turn into like a smaller version of that dragon?
But that's not as cool. Like, what's the point?
That's true.
I can summon a dragon.
Wait, what?
We don't have to do that right now, though.
Well,
Evelyn
It's
just
not-
walking by and being like, mm-mm.
it's
As
not
you're
like
walking down this hallway, that definitely will not accommodate for a dragon.
it's not like a real dragon. It's like a spirit of a dragon.
Oh, it's like
And
a
it's-
ghost.
Yeah.
Since when and why can you summon dragon ghosts?
Oh, I can do that for a while. I just never gave up.
What does it do?
I can tell it just like, attack and breathe fire and stuff.
Okay, so it's not just like a ghost, it can actually like hurt stuff and whatnot. It can do stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, but it's only like the size of Winona.
It's a cute dragon.
They get back to the ship. Evelyn kind of lands to Vidar. So we're heading back to Polythreme, right?
That would have been my plan.
I
Good.
think we need
Unless
to.
there are any other detours you needed to make.
No. Be good to see that everything's in order there as much as possible.
Then, as everyone boards the dawn, again the dawn starts its flight. And again, the dart only flies for a short time. The thrum of the engines only lasts just short of an hour. As the airship flies past the mountain peaks and clears the mountain chain. As it flies out of the mountain chain immediately before you, yet still a handful of miles away, Polythreme comes into view. This smaller, strangely spiky mountain adjacent to its larger and more solid brother. During your glide towards the city, you take in the view from above. Aside from when you left, you very rarely would get the opportunity to see the city from a downward angle. This distant, and against the backdrop of the wide, flat plains around it, the city is as imposing as ever, especially as late afternoon turns into evening at this point. and the sun begins to sink low just beyond the city, turning it into a stark silhouette. But you also see the changes more clearly than ever. The city's perfectly rounded base is no longer that perfectly round. Wide and jagged looking expansions spread out from the round wall, sprawling well into the previously well ordered fields like an untamed grove. The city of refugees just outside. Beyond them,
I know it's a distance, but does the city of refugees, like, is it look in order? Does it look in disarray? As much as possible.
from
Like,
the
is
side
it-
you're approaching from the mountains, which is basically the same side you approached the first time when you returned to the city. You do not see the at least the one of the four of these major hubs that you ordered. So if you were on the other side of the city, it would definitely be easier to tell if it has remained the same. It's difficult to tell because the other three, while they are definitely benefiting somewhat from the prosperity you've sown in the largest of the hubs, they're not as well organized yet. They're just these sprawls of haphazardly built roads and buildings. You don't see any fires or smoke, and you probably take that as a good sign. But other than that, it's difficult to tell. Beyond these sprawling hubs, the city looks much like it always had. The bright marble of the upper city, the colorful roofing of the medial district, and the new metallic gray dominating the lower district. In the month before your departure on this last trip, you were slowly getting used to the changes enacted in the lower district, in the largest portion of the city. And now, as you descend towards Polythreme, it almost looks like there are even more banners and flags fluttering in the wind, only intersected throughout by the black smoke of furnaces and smokestacks. But the dart does not descend as far as the lower district. It lands on a large open plaza of smooth marble at the outer rim of the upper district. Old metal reinforcements still line the very edges of the district's plate, where you assume once docks for similar airships would have been, but now only an iron fence runs along the circumference of the high city. And you arrive back in Polythreme.
Home sweet home.
Strange occurrences in the upper district are rare and slow, and rarely do things happen unannounced or uncontrolled, entirely opposite the chaos of the lower district. As such, your arrival in an airship causes quite stir, and you see multiple crowds of well-dressed upper district citizenship accumulate at the edges of the plaza, along corners and wide, well-lit streets. Dotted among them, as well as further down the long streets, you see that you're under the watchful eyes still of several Polythreme guardsmen, standing out clearly in both colors and size against the crowd.
Having my new guard plate on, give them a snappy salute.
From probably some of them, you see this acknowledging nod, but you definitely do not see any salutes back.
Has certainly polished it up and combed his I don't know, polished his hat, so he it definitely has that the Western cop vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn probably would have taken a few minutes in advance to put herself back into some semblance of her noble rights.
Mm-hmm.
Before in the city, when they were here in Polythreme last, Evelyn did have Vint out, correct? I think she took him around the city.
I believe it has been seen around the city.
Okay.
I think I mean, you heavily employed it in, like, you know, reconstruction,
Right,
helping
okay. Cool,
outside
cool.
the city. I'm not sure if you had it out much in the upper district. You
I don't
certainly
recall.
had it
Yeah, I know at least
because you
once
got it to
was
the
there.
ship, but
Right, right. Yeah, Evelyn would go ahead and have Vint come out to follow her again.
there's definitely murmuring around the crowd. So, you know, the hatch opens and this thing comes out. But there's already a lot of murmuring regardless, even without you.
At the same time, I'm going to keep a careful eye out to make sure amongst the crowd, not necessarily immediately seeing any family members.
You look specifically in these crowds for, you know, sort of at the edges is usually where the shorter people accumulate, because otherwise they wouldn't see anything.
Right.
You see a couple of gnomes, but at least none that immediately seem familiar enough that they might be your close relative.
Cool. Cool.
As the engines of the dart power down, you hear Vidal almost in sync release a long sigh. Well, we are returned for now. Home. Though I shudder at the work that awaits us, you as well. As soon as I've rested, I will begin the long work of trying to track down Adivir Boltzmann in Earl. I'm unsure as to the possible success of such an endeavor. The few tries I've made in the past, casual as they were, bore little fruit, so it may take a while. However, in the meantime, it would be frankly unbecoming for you to sit still.
Well, yeah, we gotta go underground and check out
See,
this.
Yeah, this smile creeping across the dust face.
Now it's at least time to sigh. Of course, you already have something in mind, I guess.
Well, as Red mentioned, there is another task on your agenda you are adequately suited for, as Orvith has requested, and as it would be likely highly beneficial to us. Your task would be to descend below the city, the old ruins. If there is a refuge there, who knows what we can learn about Dominion and Archon both.
Yeah.
Take
Sadly,
your
makes
time with
sense.
it. I highly doubt I will find out either quickly, and regardless, I doubt the rising tensions with the silver constructs will have made things easier.
Of immediate concern, though, I think we need to inform some of the right people to make sure Antigox supplies are used well. They should come in tomorrow, it sounds like.
I will tend to the ship for now, and send word to the council about other ongoings. I expect they will already be still prepared for war, even if it was a different kind. But I will inform them about the supplies as well.
Right.
For now, I require no further assistance. So you are free to return home.
Yeah, I think we have some people we need to check on.
And a few things to set in order before we take care of our task. I suppose we should head back to Quartermains? Although she's glancing at Rhett here,
Well,
questionably.
are we in the upper?
We're in the upper district.
Yeah, I
You're in
think
the
Could-
upper district.
we could. Evelyn's not volunteering it, but she is willingly letting it
Yeah.
linger. Like, we could go check on your mom.
I think
What it
that
was-
yes, that's what Rhett's gonna do. I mean,
Okay.
it would be weird for Evelyn not to go see your family to him, but
Sure. She,
up to her.
which is why she was like, quartermates? Question mark. But like, there was a hesitance there.
I mean, yeah. After we check on people on the way, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, he's just gonna start off toward the quartz silver house.
Okay. After a very short trip across.
Do they make sure that like no one is gonna follow, or are they like, okay, sure, Hux,
No.
Sele, come along, or something? Like,
Yeah,
I was about to
absolutely.
ask if you are.
yeah, I just want to know how they approach this, because Sele would just, because he has no idea what
Well-
to do, he would just like go with you.
Follow.
Yeah.
Well, Evelyn said, "Oh yeah, let's all go to quartz to Quartermain." So I was like, "Yeah, we'll all do that after we check on people." Sounds good. So I think we're all doing it.
As Rhett heads off, Evelyn would at least like somewhat like linger back with the two. Just stopping in to check on family, I suppose. Did you want to head back to Quartermains first? You could certainly take Vint with you if you like.
I guess that means you don't want to introduce us to your family. So, I guess we could go. Could also like swing by the Venerable Swordsman or something and check that one out. On whatever.
This is in the lower district, the Venerable Swordsman, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perhaps make sure to get a certain eye on the stance of things before heading there. You can come to my family if you like, though they don't generally know what I do.
I mean, if it's easier for you, I could be like Leia again and be your servant. Maybe they like me more then.
They'll disregard you more likely.
Hmm.
Might be more assured, potentially.
It's a horse.
You're... Ellen actually laughs at that. Would like a little, like chuckle. You don't have to be a horse. Certainly, you can come along to meet my family.
Sure.
Evelyn will just turn to follow Rhett with like this mixed look of like dread and anticipation at the same time, and at the same time taking into fact that Vint is still following her, so like trying to plan in advance where she's going to tell Vint to wait. Like thinking, is there a bush? A tree? A structure? Something they can crouch behind.
Is these thoughts play in your mind? You'd probably settle on just outside the mansion, the sort of short lead up to the door. There is a yard that has a long row of trees on either side. Very sort of thick pine trees that, you know, are sort of there as a screen against
Cool.
people
Yeah.
just looking into the yard, and probably a good place to just leave Wind outside of, just behind.
Yeah.
And after a short walk, the group of you would arrive at the Quartz Silver Manor.
Where Evelyn very quickly tells Vint to go away behind the trees. And stay out of sight as much as possible.
Before the actual manor, there is a sort of large yard around the entire, with the manor set firmly in the middle of this large square plot of land surrounded by trees. You see a couple of marble statues and signs, a fountain here and there, this long walk up with flowers on either side. And right now you stand before a grated gate before this yard.
Why did you want to hide him? You're usually so proud of Wind.
It's family tends to ask a lot of questions. Easier to just avoid certain things.
Soleil just notes that for himself.
But I didn't even introduce us to his family.
It's true.
True. Did I already head through the gate, or is it locked?
Probably in advance. Evelyn's somewhat dragging her feet.
Because it's so funny for Soleil, because she wants to use every chance to show off Wind, like wherever she goes, and as soon as she goes back to the family, she's like, oh no, just stay back. Yeah, it's fine.
Right now, Salty, you are right in front of the outer gate. You sort of just arrive. Do you try and open it and just head in?
Yeah. Unless I know it, like, I mean, I've been here many times. If it's supposed to be locked, I would think I would have a key, but I don't know that I have a key.
There is a lock on the outer gate. Do you sort of try to open it?
Do I have a key to this house where I ostensibly work?
I
from
feel
time to
like
time?
you'd have to answer. Would you have a key?
I would have asked Evelyn for a key at some point.
Yeah,
If it
if
was
you
reasonable.
would have a key, then you will certainly have. a
Then
key.
did Evelyn? Do I have a key?
Yes, you have.
Okay, I will put it down the sheet. Yeah, I'm gonna unlock it. Like, look down the street to see if they're coming. Because I need to lock it behind me, like I'm supposed to, because I know I'm supposed to. So I'm just gonna like have to stand here and wait.
You probably see them at sort of the corner as you sort of see Wind crouch behind this row of trees.
I'm gonna be like, oh yeah.
I'm assuming they follow quickly after that short conversation.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna wait to shut the gate behind them. I'm just gonna leave the gate unlocked. What took you so long? I mean, it's a good thing you left it, to be honest. But
Oh, babe, I knew you were like a noble woman, but this place is big. How big is it compared to the mansion of the frickin' villains?
To compare to the summer house, there is less space. It's a lot more orderly, and with it being, a clean white marble structure, it certainly is a lot more luxurious. But in terms of the gardens around, given Antok Ark's nature, you just sort of have these sprawling areas. Whereas in the city, even in the upper district, the
Limited
space is a lot more limited.
So yeah, limited space, so they put more money into that little space, basically.
Basic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you better get used to it, Soleil. Gonna marry into a noble house. Gonna be a noble. I'm deciding.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
He's... I don't know if cats can blush, but he would be like looking like it. He's like not comfortable with that at all for now. But you can also see like his mind going to work. He's like, oh shit, is that something that might happen? He's like now very deep in thoughts.
Hale is like nervously twitching.
Yeah, I think that's the cat equivalent of blushing, but like tail twitch.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you wander up
Ears.
the path towards the door. Who
After-
stands out front? Who approaches the door?
I locked the gate behind us, so
Okay.
Evelyn will take the lead, although she'll pause. It's like instant noble like training back in place. She's pausing in front of the door, waiting.
I'm
for
hurrying
Brett
back
to come back
to open the
to
door.
open the door for
Yes,
him.
exactly. I like lock the gate behind everybody and then start hurrying by to open
Yeah.
the door.
Okay.
The funny thing also is that Saleh, who's deep in thought still, but you can see like his body move automatically, and he immediately goes into bodyguard mode, even though this is not the person he usually bodyguards, but it's like it's rich people, and he's just it's
just
just
sees
this
the
automatic.
Part of-
It's just this automatic response to his body that he's
Beginning to
going in
just sort
bodyguard
of
mode.
Shadow Evelyn.
Yeah, just standing behind her, a little bit menacing, just looking around and.
Then as Red hurries past, you would arrive at the door first.
And I open the door.
I'm assuming you
Evelyn would head in.
you knock, or do you just like open the door?
I open the door and say, Lady Evelyn returns home. Inside.
You open
Yeah,
the door,
it's
it swings
dangerous.
open, and inside you see this, somewhat lavish anteroom, large staircase going up to the upper levels, chandelier hanging in the middle. And as you open the door, you see a couple of servants turn their head. Some looking a little bit surprised. You probably startled one or two of them. And as one of them turns, it is your mother.
So it's like, Lady Evelyn returns home. Hi, Mom.
You see
Did
her
you
sort of
introduction?
begin to rush forward. Her arms already sort of a little bit outstretched.
Yeah,
when
same.
she then
Evelyn will
stops
move out of the
and
way.
Just sort of bows. Oh, Lady Evelyn, Quad Server, we did not expect. I apologize. We would have.
And then she gets hugged.
No apologies necessary, please.
There's
Creature,
this
son.
moment when you hug her, where she wraps her arms around you, and then there's this clunk from the armor that you have on,
Uh-huh.
and you see her sort of not really disengage, but sort of move back in the hug a little bit and look down. Is that? Did you
God,
call him
am
a
I?
Polythreme god?
Honorarily, see, so... this is a really long story.
You see her sort of confused a little bit, shaking her head, and then she pulls you back in, hugging you for several moments.
Evelyn will look to one of the other servants that are around and
As you sort of move to the
Is-
side past, the hugging people, cringe.
yeah.
You hear
Or
a door sort of creak open on the upper floor at the top of the stairway, and you see someone step out. And you see your mother open the door. Evelyn, Alana, Beryl, Triana, Amber, Kaina, Quad Silver. Why? What an honor.
alright.
Okay.
How are you,
Pleased to
dear?
see you.
You
Quite,
see her
quite
start
well.
to head down this long staircase, excruciatingly slow. And you see some of the servants begin to sort of move past you, start dusting you off a little bit. And
It's been quite well. How are all? Is the family?
oh, quite well, quite well. Your siblings, they are as usual. I've heard some of your exploit. What, the lower city and such.
Oh.
They're calling you a saint. Have you heard?
Something is up. I've heard rumors of some sort of name along those lines. Mostly just trying to lend a hand where I can and use my resources efficiently.
Your father isn't currently here, but I'll send him a message. Perhaps it'll reach him. He's been looking forward to seeing you again. You so rarely find time to visit your family these days.
Well, it's been rather busy, all things considered. Trying to keep things in order. And the lower tiers. There's this hesitancy in Evelyn as she keeps talking, like this moment of like trying to figure out how much her mom is aware of and how much like Evelyn's not trying to offer up any information. But from outside of what she's told. But she's trying to like gauge, is this like a normal courtesy? Is this a subtle words going on in the background? Is there something being unsaid? Is father being eager to see her? Like, oh crap! Like, she's trying to work that out, but she's never
Give
been
me an
amazing at
insight
those.
check.
Insight check. Uh, 16.
There's definitely this sort of undercurrent of critique in what she said so far. Especially about being called a saint and at the same time leading then into the subject of you not visiting
Right, right.
a lot.
My apologies, my manners seem to be not quite with me today. Mother, these are my companions. This is Silas and Hux, and of course you're aware of Rhett. This is my mother, Riona Quartsilver.
I will give an elaborate bow as I have learned.
He finally sort of arrives at the bottom of the fight. She gives you this slight curtsy in return and walks up to Evelyn. You smell rather awful, dear. And she throws a sort of sideways glance towards Rand. And then, she
Prestidigitate.
she reaches out her arms and embraces you, though a little bit more distant.
There's like a hesitancy before Evelyn slightly returns the hug.
And it also does not last for very long. He sort of lets you go again and looks over your companions with a slight smirk.
Hello.
Well, you know, I didn't know better. Would almost think that my daughter has run off with a circus troupe.
Well, they are certainly an entertaining lot, so it could certainly be worse.
It's good to know that you are safe, and again she sideways glances toward Brent, and that you've been kept safe.
Absolutely.
I am quite safe. Much to thank my companions for, and always watching over my shoulder for me. Slay
Well,
himself used to
We didn't
be,
have anything prepared, but if you would like to stay around, maybe spend the night, there are plenty of guest rooms available. You see her sort of turn around and gesture towards one of the servants who immediately starts heading off, presumably to make some beds. If you'd like to stay, you would be welcome to. As I'd said, your father is currently not present, and perhaps if you have some time during the week, he'll be back. He could
There's this
stand
moment
to
where
see your
Evelyn
face every now and then.
There's a moment where Evelyn glances over at Red, where he's presumably still quietly
Yeah.
conversing with his mother
Yeah.
or something. I sort of like there's this slightest like like sinking of defeat of her shoulders. We'll stay for the night, at least, and I'll.
Well, hang on. Do you Brett's giving you the like, why would you say that? Do you not remember where we stay gets attacked regularly? Please don't let us stay here. We recently, though, remember, arranged for supplies to come into the city, and we still need to take care of all that tonight.
Right. My wits aren't about me, obviously. We'll visit for a short bit, and I'll return later as well. When Father's as well
More
around.
saint work then.
Yes. More saints work.
Well, I understand how it is to be busy.
All of you are well, though? Your ladyship?
Of course.
Good. Wow.
There's, you know, the murmurings in the lower district currently. It is concerning, but
Well, it was a surprise to hear that the Mediocre had been attacked so heinously.
yes, quite an odd incident. Wasn't like before, which I believe you were involved in. We weren't really. There's no one to blame. There's no one for the guard to look out for just yet. It's
Oh, well, the
almost
guard has
too
several
soon.
leads. It's not that I can talk about the investigation, but
Of course. You know that yellow is a little garish. We have some painters around here if you'd like to.
Mother, Rich actually received that as a honor, doing a service for the Polythreme Guard.
Mother God,
I
yeah.
understand.
It's intentionally garish just to stand out so that everyone
I just
is aware.
having someone of the quarter was just so affiliated with the guard. It seems. Are you sure you wouldn't just prefer a new, perhaps shinier set of armor? You could maybe include yellow in some sort of
I can
gems
certainly.
on the armor.
I mean, gems are
Mother,
gems
while
are
I-
lovely, but
Appreciate your concern in this matter. I highly trust your keen eye for fashion, but in this matter, I think that it's more fitting that he wears what he's wearing.
Oh, of course. I'm just worried seeing how the guard are treated in the lower districts. If you really must go down there to perform your work, do stay safe. As I've said, we've heard worrying news.
that is an excellent point. You know what? If there is some tabard that you would prefer, I wear when I'm here or in the lower district, I'm certainly open to it.
Well, I believe you see her sort of snapping her fingers, and you see another attendant sort of give you a nod, and
I assume she's always like this about fashion.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm just, like, gonna
Appearances,
go along with it.
especially
Yeah.
yours, have always been a sort of matter of discussion.
An ongoing argument
Yeah.
between Evelyn and her mother.
I'm just seeking
Stop
the
it.
compromise here.
Well, if
And
you
give me a little tap
really
dance.
can't stand around, I do have somewhere to attend today. I was going to cancel, of course, but
I wouldn't want you to cancel your plans due to my unexpected arrival. Is there a better time that I should come and visit?
well, it is just a minor event. Well, your father said to return in a couple of days. I suppose I could have a runner send word. If you're busy until then, unless you'd like to come by and stay, welcome him on his return.
I would love to welcome him on his return. You said you expect him in a couple of days.
Yes. Unfortunately, I suppose perhaps you got some of that from him. Your father is not exactly scheduled as well as I would like sometimes.
Where was he traveling to?
Oh, apparently it was a small fishing village that had been abandoned. There was something about salvage operations. I didn't really pay that much attention to it, I'm afraid. Something about pearls. I believe he took the lightning rail. 1 or 2 stops
Then I'll
west.
keep an ear out for any news of his arrival and be here as quickly as I can.
Of course, of course.
And I'll try and
who
wrap
knows,
up.
maybe we'll have a proper family get-together tomorrow.
Absolutely. Invite my siblings as well. Make an event
Yes,
of it.
if you do get word of them before I do, remind them to also return home once in a while.
Jeez.
Are they not home?
Well, I'll excuse your brother. He went with your father. But some of them have been tardy with letting me know exactly where they go.
Oh, and Jess is gone.
Oh, she hated them.
Yeah.
I did. I hated it so much. I got disconnected.
At least we can still hear you. That's good.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, then I'll certainly keep an ear out there in the city, though. Presumably.
Well, most of them will be. Your sisters are currently in the Medial district. Personal project of theirs. Apparently something to do with the... you've heard of the... I mean, you live there. You've heard of the gardens, where they grow some of the food.
Yes.
And again, your brother is not in the city, but he's with your father, so... I'm sure they're having the time of their life. Okay?
Quite sure. I'll see if we can't coordinate a time to have a family gathering with everyone returning.
That would be wonderful. And invite your servants and friends if you would like. I'm sure we can have a large feast like we used to.
Oops. Well, I wouldn't want to keep you from your event.
What is Hux doing?
You see her almost sort of awkwardly hesitate and then give you another quick hug before she turns and starts slowly moving up the stairs again. And several attendants sort of move to her side. She vanishes somewhere in the upper hallway. What is Hux poking?
The flower pot or something. Or like just
There's
he got
definitely
tired of
an
of this
attendant by the
conversation.
door, sort of, standing completely still, stiff, and eyes somewhat forward, but every now and then just shifting his eyes down to look at what you're doing.
As far as what I've been talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I briefly go through the a much abridged and less dangerous version of what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, and then focused in on Silas and his latest drama, as far as how servants gossip a little bit.
Yeah. You definitely,
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
actually gonna marry into the villain household here shortly.
you definitely get a lot of wonderment initially from, visiting the wizards if you
Yeah.
disclose that detail.
Yeah.
Then with the east, I didn't know there were still cities that far out.
It's actually lovely out there. There's
They're
all
doing
kinds of
well.
water
With the
and
blight and
rivers.
all.
Yeah. It was crazy.
And then, of course, once you get to the villains and such, it gets a lot more gossipy.
Oh, juicy.
And
How
you
does
hear
his mother look, by the way? Does he
several-
look? Does she look? Does he look like her, or do they look related? Or
There are definitely similarities in the fame. Whereas, of course, Red is a tiefling, his mother is not. So,
Isn't she? I thought she was.
was she?
She was.
see, good thing I asked.
I assume she wasn't.
Um,
Hold on, I'm looking at a document real quick.
I thought both my parents were tieflings.
I had that somewhat written differently in my mind. Apparently I was wrong.
It doesn't really matter.
I mean, if she is a tiefling, then there's
think she
definitely
is.
more similarities.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know this, I guess. But maybe you pick up on it from the way she talks or laughs, but Rat clearly gets his musical talent from her.
I mean,
Probably she doesn't talk so much.
gets a part of that because he's in bodyguard mode and is observing everything. But there's also these ringing words about marriage still in his head that are kind of distracting him quite a lot. And then as Evelyn talks to her mother, that also kind of scares him because he's like, oh, do I have to talk to my mother like that in the future when I'm marrying into? No, I'm not gonna marry. Oh, yeah, he's just.
Yeah, the whole time you're just sort of
Yeah.
having this internal crisis.
Mm-hmm.
At first, definitely, your mother is a lot more worried as you tell your adventures, and of course, in wonderment. As you get to the villains, and there's these hushed glances towards Soleil.
Yeah.
Soleil, you can definitely also tell that there's, it's somewhat obvious when the rumors. There's
That's
this
fine. Red is just talking about me. There's nothing to hide, right?
hushed talking. There's these glances every now and then, even towards some of the other servants, as Red he tells you about, some of the servants who've, specifically become servants because they're hoping for a similar story, the sort of servant becoming a lover, marrying into the family kind of thing.
Okay.
In the meantime, Soleil's leaning over to Evelyn and whispers to her, and it's like, your mother is an scarily observing woman. She just took one look and knew I was from the circus.
My mother is creative with her words and is good at hiding insults and seeming compliments.
Oh. Oh. So
And,
it was just lucky that she
See
called us that,
insults.
and she just wanted to make fun of us.
Correct.
Oh. Okay. She's not as scarily observant
Body
as I
job.
thought. She's just...
There's far worse things that I to associate myself with than companion from the circus. I'm rather proud of that one. So, it was a poor shot, an insult.
I mean, I never knew. Is she like, are you guys not too well together? Like, or is that just she doesn't like us? And it felt like, I don't know. This felt a little bit awkward. This whole...
I fall a bit far away from family structure.
Seems like something we have in common.
There's that.
I was gonna finish
Mhm.
with my conversation with my mother.
There's this,
This-
bit of a jump you do get, right? As
Mhm.
you're, you know, as the rumor mill is grinding away.
Mm-hmm.
There's this sort of sideways glance after discussing Selene towards Evelyn, and your mother just says, you know, always thought maybe you'd also go that same reason.
Got him!
Call smitten.
Got him!
No. No.
She sort of steps back a little bit, looking guilty even.
I mean, I can see why you might think that, but
You know how some
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm sure you've heard what.
Oh, of course.
Heard.
Hardly anyone who hasn't.
Right. Yeah. So.
My-
No, but she's really. I don't think she's really into that, you know.
She's kind of still hung up on the whole. Anyway.
Yes, other topics.
Wow, the son. She's still hung up on her dead husband. It's kind of her whole personality.
I love her.
She very briefly, as this is sort of the moment when, you know, her mother moves back upstairs, does briefly talk about the rumors that they've heard of Evelyn's work in the lower district. Things like that.
Yeah. So, speaking of random marriages, I was gonna ask. So, listen, I've been dating. How do I say this? So about Dad.
Yes.
Do you, and maybe like, I don't know, if you didn't think she was a tiefling, maybe she wouldn't get this. But it's like, this is what I was gonna ask. So like, lines and stuff. Have you ever heard of a Beleth family?
Well,
Maybe you can think about it. We're gonna be
I-
back later in the week. If you can think about anything that you said, either about Beleth or
I've
I don't know, just
heard
like
the
a
name
warning or
before
something.
from you,
Yeah.
but it was at a time where we had many other concerns.
Yeah.
What brings this subject? Is there Is
Oh, what?
anything in particular?
It's just come up. Okay. I'm gonna be like really quiet now. So it like came up at the Wizards, and there was this like little shitty demi-lich. They called me a son of Belith, like in a rude way.
That's Demi what?
It's like a flying head with wings.
Betheth was the last name of your father,
Dad, I knew it.
and I know that there's a lot of family history, but I never really asked.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was a lot of, you know how some of these larger families are. You sort of see a look around as at the nearest example. I never really cared about that when I was with your father. And, well, we never really talked about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that mostly answers my question then. I guess the little demi-lich was right.
I know that he had a lot of history before we met. I'm just afraid I
In
don't
what?
know much about it.
I mean, history like he was.
Well, he was
like
always
he was married
very,
before, or like what?
No, but he was very secretive about what exactly he has done in the past. He didn't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's what you said when I
When
asked.
the
before.
subject of families came up, he always wanted us to be away from that. You especially, I suppose. Every child eventually growing up wants to learn about it. I'm afraid I can't really help you with it, and your father
No, I
was
know.
rather worried, so I would just say at least be careful when you search. It feels like there was something that he did not want you to necessarily engage with as such.
Yeah, well, he should have told me himself.
Yes, you should have.
Sorry to bring that up. Anyway. If anything does come to your mind, we will be back later in the week.
It's I'm glad that you decided to drop by.
Now Rhett's turn to be awkward leaving.
Soleil's still talking to Ablin about the circus thing and whatnot, and he's just trying to smirk at her and is like, whenever we find a new animal, want me to name it after your mother then?
You know what? That's one name I will object to.
See,
Just don't
I'm
tell
learning.
Her. Promise you won't tell her.
Sure.
It won't be worth it.
I didn't even get out a word in front of her. I'm just so used to bowing and just nodding.
Right, but not an animal that you would bring around to her have to say the name. Specifically, the Tux would have to say the name around her.
Okay. I will ask you beforehand.
Fair enough.
Because I don't even know her name actually. So I would have to ask her, you anyway, beforehand. Also, how many names did you have? She talked
Well,
like 20 seconds,
it's-
and I couldn't remember all
Well,
of that.
it's a lot of family names with Evelyn, Alana, Beryl, Triana, Amber, Kiana, Hina, Portsil.
You've heard me say that before, Cecily.
Yeah, still, I.
Went in one ear, out the other.
This was just too long
Anyway.
to remember the first time, and it's still too long to remember. I
I'm
hope you're
ready
still
to
fine
head
with
out.
Ablin.
Yes. I'm lot to do. So, uh, she kind of nods to Rhett's mom. Pleasure as always. Hope they're treating you well here.
They are. Thank you. They're very kind.
Wonderful. Well then, I'll be out. She just turns and walks out.
I mean, I'm gonna
I
follow.
gotta get the door.
I'm gonna go fully bodyguard and follow.
Your mother gives you a last quick hug and gives you this sort of meaningful glance, noble sending. And yeah, she lets you go right off. And what was that today? Silas, sorry.
Oh, he just goes full bodyguard mode again. As soon as he storms out, he's just going after her again, shadowing her.
I'm assuming Huxley follows as well.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're finally leaving.
There's this moment when you leave the poking of the pot alone, turn to leave. You immediately, as you go out the door, you see the servant that was watching you just trying to inspect the flower pot. Sort of begin to smooth out the earth again, and then the door closes behind you, and you head back out into the city.
Look,
I have to go let my dog out real fast.
Yes,
but
I was
I'll-
about to say anyways, before
Okay.
you arrive at Watermains, let's take a 5 to 10 minute break,
Nice.
and I'll see you back here in a bit.
All right.
looks
I
Probably
think we're heading back to Polythreme.
If we happen to pass like a smithy or something on the way, I would like to pick up new ball bearings because they were helpful last time.
You will have plenty of time to do that. However, going to Quartermains will not actually take you past the shopping district. You pretty much, once you are at the chain lift, are already pretty close by. The most you'd find on the way in terms of market would be likely food markets and such.
Sure, I will do it later then.
You make your way to Quartermains. So you wander down the street, and as you arrive at the plaza before Quartermains, the building looks exactly like it always has. Which you probably somewhat.
What happened to the destruction around the building, by the way? Have they like kind of fixed everything, or is it still like?
Well, where there is a plaza now used to not be a.
Okay.
But any sort of rubble and damage that had occurred has long been.
Remind me, is there a like magic mail system or something, or do I just need to like hire you, take a message to whoever for?
In the city so far, you've mostly dealt with runners or messenger couriers.
Could I then hire one quickly to run over to the college and find Riel, because I need to send my minions on quests and whatnot, and tell her to come to Quartermains?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
You can send a runner for Real.
I have her.
Oh, perfect. Let me just copy that real quick. Bloop. Just so I don't. Yeah, you send a runner to the Songspire College, and assuming you enter Quartermain. As you guys enter, could I get a perception roll from
Sure.
Anyone or everyone?
Is it just
Look, I'm not perceptive today. It's another natural one, so...
You get to roll with advantage because it's smell-based. Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing, because it was a natural one the first row.
I have a 7.
19.
Perception, you say? Come on, load. That is a 19 for me.
I'm still loading in, so if somebody else wants to roll dice for me, I can, you know what? It's just a +1 perception.
That's
Natural one.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think
Everyone's
red tucking
distracted.
your dice kind of ruined them.
I think she rolled
I
5
think
20s
you have
pre-rolling.
We did roll a
re
bunch of
pre-roll,
20s.
you know.
Yeah.
As you enter, you do immediately notice it is a lot darker than usual. The candles of the chandelier, as well as the candles by the door, none of them are lit. And there is a distinct layer of dust at your feet. Even though it's not extremely thick, it doesn't appear like there's been much to it. Silas, there's something else that you pick up. You catch this scent, a foul smell.
Has Aelith abandoned us? When I look at the dust on the floor, are there like footprints or something that show us that recently someone has walked past there, or?
There's no sort of prints in the dust. It's a very thin layer. You can sort of tell that it's there just from the light falling in through the neighborhood. You don't really see any tracks in it.
I was just walking on autopilot, sort of heading towards her with the natural one.
Yeah, yep. I'm a 7. I'm about the same. I'm just like, hello, we're back.
And there hasn't been someone in here for a while. Seems like something is off a little bit.
Oh,
Sorry?
Look at all the dust around here. So I feel I can smell something foul coming from the kitchen or something. It's something smells.
Aelith.
Yeah, something smells like no one has been taking care of this place for a while.
I'm gonna open the door up.
You open the door and now you definitely smell it. You
Aelith.
open the door and you look into a dark kitchen.
You had one job.
Similarly, there are no light here, but you smell the stench of decay.
Oh,
Very important question. When I look into the kitchen, are there any carrots left?
You go over to the
Yeah, I wanna check if any carrots are
There
left.
is a box with what used to be. You can see that they almost all have, gone fairly limp. And there's a very distinct smell coming from them. You can only describe it. These carrots have probably been lying here, at least a couple of them. too long. Same with most things.
There are still carrots there. Let's check on Reginald.
Yeah, I was gonna go to at
Yeah.
least the study where he normally is to see if
You
he's in
knock,
there.
or do you just open the door?
I just opened the door.
You open the door and you see Reginald sitting there on the couch.
Reginald,
Oh,
everything all right?
hello. Oh, sorry, I was spacing out a little bit. I thought honestly you were. Oh, well, you're back. That's
We're
good.
back.
Welcome back. Welcome home.
Everything all right?
Well, good as they could be. You know, haven't seen Aelith in a couple of days. I'm sorry to say, but if you came here hungry, I do not know if there will be any dinner tonight.
All right. I could always send Red out to get food.
Theliana did try to cook once. Well, it did not turn out so well.
And have you eaten?
Oh, here and there. Yes. I do not need to eat that much. I was planning to maybe venture out tomorrow. Get some food.
Wait. And you said our cook hasn't been about for a bit?
Yeah, well, it hasn't been around at all the last few days.
Did he say where he was going?
Not that I know of, no. Suppose I have to. Well, now that you're here, perhaps you could take care of him.
The food.
Oh, perhaps hiring new help and stuff like that. Yes.
Right. Of course, I'll have Rat get right on it.
Wonderful.
And you're all right.
Yeah. Of course.
No incidents or odd things happened while you were gone?
No, that I can think of.
The rest of you, at this point, the Deliana sort of covered. Oh, you've returned.
Yeah. What? Is everything alright here?
Oh, well, yeah.
Doesn't seem alright.
Well, I've been trying to cook and clean, but I suppose not all that good at it.
Yeah, and Aelith.
Well, he hasn't been around in a couple of days.
Did he happen to... Did he go out right before that explosion happened?
Explosion?
You didn't hear it?
No? Are you alright?
Yes, we were not in the city at the time. And
Oh, well, that's good.
you're
to
feeling well?
Well, yes. My
Okay.
common has been better and better.
Yeah, I was
I
wondering.
noticed.
Progress on remembering things, but
Okay.
Have you heard any news from Kara?
no, not since you left.
Anyone else stop by?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. I have a bad feeling about A-list well-being, Silas.
Oh, but he's only been gone for. You see a sort of counting the fingers. 5 days?
What happened 5 days ago?
Oh, nothing really. He leaves quite often to buy things.
Yeah.
And out of character, what happened 5 days ago in our timeline? Like, where were we there? Was it like during a certain wish, or was that earlier than that?
Seems like really close. I don't know exactly. Yeah.
Just for me
Would
as a
have been
player.
A little before.
Okay.
Like as in a full day before?
About, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been 3 to 4 days when the wish happened.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just wanted to make sure that there's no direct correlation. Okay. But there was something happening here in the city, right? During that time? Like the explosion and whatnot? Wasn't that like a day before that? Or was that an explosion? It was something happened here, right? In Polythreme? Or was that after the wish? Or before the wish?
That was exactly.
Roughly
We read the
around
headlines of the
time was
newspaper.
Pretty
Okay.
much exactly at the same time.
Okay, then that's not it. Okay, then he didn't get caught in that thing, at least. Probably. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we guess we have to check on him, but do we even know where he lives? Do we know anything about this man that we brought into this house?
He's a quote-unquote cook.
Yeah, that was
He worked
all
on
I
the ship?
remember. He was
I
like...
think he was a pirate.
Yeah, we think he
Yeah.
was a pirate. But he was good at cooking, so good enough.
I mean, he did a decent job. He was surprisingly okay at what he
Yeah.
did here.
He was better than I was.
He actually showed up and did stuff. That was good.
I really don't think he would just disappear without any warning. It's just kind of.
Yeah, sounds weird. Because
Yeah.
I mean, he got paid and stuff. It wasn't like he... Yeah.
Helen's gonna go upstairs. Excusing herself. Oh, Rachel, I'll be right back.
Oh, of course.
She's gonna-
Make yourself at home.
She's gonna beeline towards her room.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look for a box in the corner.
And the one box.
You open the room with a key, and
Mhm.
it clicks. Just as it's supposed to. You rush inside and start rummaging through the corner, and you find a metal crate that you had left.
I think I've already worked out how to open this, I believe. Trying to
I
remember
believe
my
it
notes
was
now.
a passphrase.
Oh. And I haven't learned the passphrase, is that right?
I think you know the passphrase.
I do.
I think you've opened it before and closed it.
Yeah, so she's gonna do the same thing. Say the passphrase, open it real quick, and then close it, just
You
making
say
sure
the
it's accounted
passphrase
for.
as this hiss as cold air comes from the crate, and you look inside. It's currently dark in the room, but you see enough to know that what's supposed to be in there is still in there.
Okay. Just needs to, like, double check on a couple things. Yeah, I shall close it again.
You close the door.
What if he got like kidnapped? Maybe he just caught up in unrest? This is weird.
Or maybe the Dominion, because they can't get in here. They just wanted to
Right.
take him and ask him stuff Or I don't know. Not like we've just made friends on our way.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right. Well, we can certainly look around, see if we can put an ear to the ground. I don't think we knew that much
think-
about him.
I can't actually remember. I think he used to stay here, though. Did he stay here?
Most of the time you have been at Quartermains, he's been sort of around. Much like you'd expect of, you know, a servant. He'd come and go to, you know, buy things, but
But,
generally
like-
he'd be around.
But like,
Like,
did
I
he
think
sleep
lived
here or?
Right, yeah.
You'd probably have seen on occasion that he... Yeah.
Can we... Like, did he sleep in the spare room?
Mm-hmm.
Up here?
I think this...
Okay.
Actually, I guess there's two spots.
Let's go check the rooms where I think he might have stayed. I feel like I really should know. But
I will follow.
During the off time you've had, would you have been at Quartermains alone?
I think a decent amount.
Yeah, we would have been living here, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You probably would have seen Elif stay over most days, but there would have been days when he had,
Hmm.
and you just sort of saw him arrive in the morning, usually with, you know, groceries and stuff. You'd know that he probably came out this room whenever you would have caught him.
Just gonna knock once and then open it.
The door swings open and you enter a relatively empty room. There's not much here in terms of personal belongings, at least not out in the open. You see that the bed has been made, although somewhat not necessarily professionally to your eyes.
I'm gonna
I'm
try
guessing,
to
like-
get a smell to see if someone's been in here other than Aelith.
Roll me a perception check.
That is a dirty 20.
There are three distinct smells that you identify. One you know as Elif. It's definitely very prevalent in the room. You also smell Reginald as well as Etheriana. Not really coming from the room, but sort of in the hallways and the door. Probably intermixing with the air inside, but you don't really pick out anything else inside the room.
Okay.
Mostly Elif.
I'm just like checking a couple of drawers, the chest, to see if there's any personal effects. What do you like? Me
As
to
you, roll me an investigation roll. As you open the footlocker, you definitely see someone's belongings. You see clothing, shoes.
An 8.
They look like they might belong to Aelith, just in terms of the way he dresses. But you don't see anything immediately identifying or out of the ordinary.
I don't know. I don't see any. He doesn't really seem the type to keep a diary, but I didn't find one, so
I could I would like to... How did this work again? Could concentrate on a smell, right, and follow it. Maybe we can just follow the smell. Let me see. When I can use an action to focus on a scent. When you do, I perceive that smell visually as a cloud for up to 1 hour.
Is 5 days ago gonna be recent enough, like, for Silas?
I mean, I can smell him still, so... I can smell it in here, so...
Right. I mean, let's get outside.
You might as well
find
try,
out.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you activate the amulet.
Yes.
Yeah, you see these sort of vapors of clouds of this smell all over Watermains.
Yeah.
And, of course, out the front door.
I want to look at the front door and see which one of these looks like the most recent one.
In terms of smell, you have a very faint grape leaf. As you... Can you give me a perception roll?
Normal one
As you
or
step outside.
advantage because of the thing?
A normal one.
Okay.
Because now you're also visually looking.
Natural 20.
You see traces of his smell around. Every here and there there's sort of this thread where maybe, you know, he touched the lantern on the way and some of the smell still lingers. However, every trail you see is very faint already. The city itself has a myriad of smells, and of course with them being approximately 4 to 5 days old, you know, there's not that much to find. But you do see trails here and there, where some of the smell lingers still.
Yeah, well, I'll try to follow it as good as I can.
Hey, Becker.
Yes.
How long has it been since we left the city?
It's been a little over a week.
Okay.
Before we... I don't know how long this will take, so before we leave... Liliana, I'm expecting someone to show up. Her name is Brielle. If we're still out, which I don't expect to be, what we might be, try to... just tell her that I'm out and we'll be back shortly.
I'll
Yeah.
bring her to Reginald, maybe?
Yeah, maybe she'd enjoy playing the piano in there or something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Are you all leaving?
I Say it's onto something, I don't know.
You guys,
I might stay back here.
I was just wondering if you'll be back soon.
We hope so.
Last time you know, left, it was for a longer time.
We'll definitely be back before it.
If you
I'll
find
bring back
that-
some food for
We're
dinner.
just looking for Aelith, that's the plan, so we hope we just don't take that long. So
I want to look around a couple of things here, so I'll stay.
okay. What about you, Hux?
Yeah.
I'll come with you.
Cool. Then let's go. He immediately starts running because he only has an hour and he doesn't
the
know how
trail
far.
of the road that you can sort of see the shreds leads straight out of Quartermains directly along the road to the sort of main road, and you start to visually lose the you'll probably find shreds if you go the right direction, but which way would that be?
So once we hit like this main road,
Let me give you a new marker. As soon as you reach here, you have sort of the choice either to head straight towards, the greenery, maybe to the left, maybe to the right.
I guess I would try first for the center, because that's where they change the plates, right? So if like the highest chance is that he lived like in the common quarters.
Then as you head towards the center, you do see more trends is fading until you reach the train lift. And indeed, even here, despite the smell being so intermixed with so many various other smells, there's still a shred on a chain lift leading down to the lower district.
I'm gonna let the others know. It seems like he went to the lower district.
right? Okay. Again, I'm gonna start digging in my bag as quickly as are you getting on the left then?
Yeah, before we lose the trail.
Brett just like digs in to find his most beat up, big, huge old shirt and like puts it over his armor.
Oh yeah.
As much as Evelyn's mom is annoying sometimes, she is actually right about that.
Yeah.
I would just have a really weird shirt over the middle of my arm.
He looks not fatter than he used to.
Yeah,
Because it's
looks
like
kinda-
a roundish, bulbous armor.
Yeah.
He's the Onion Knight.
Okay,
I guess we.
you descend down the chain lift. Evelyn, while they are going around out and about, is there anything specific you're doing?
Evelyn has a new concern, and wants to spend a thorough amount of time searching the house top to bottom using True Sight, looking for any sort of written notes, any kind of hint of any sort of magical sensor, anything like that. And just doing a full top to bottom search of the house.
Mm-hmm.
She is wondering if maybe there's a new, maybe there's a potential reason why Ethel is gone, and maybe a source for the leak of information she's trying to figure out.
As you look around, you see traces of magic, specifically, of course, as you pass your room. There's some sort of lingering magic coming from Red's room. There's pretty much nothing around the lower area, not even the kitchen, except for, the workshop. And of course, from the basement, the magic you've already discovered. There is an immense glow of residual magic as you pass by Reginald's room. But give me an investigation check.
That's a 23.
You visually comb the entire house. And aside from some of the personal rooms and the basement and the workshop, there is nothing hidden, nothing magical that you pick up.
Okay. Then if she's content that there's nothing magical, then she's gonna start searching for any signs of any non-magical.
Mm-hmm. As you search through the house, looking close to pretty much everything, you very quickly find that this thin layer of dust you've noticed initially, it's in a lot of places, especially places where a lift would not have been. This is a large house for very few people. Even the workshop is entirely covered in this very thin layer of dust by the windows, and it almost gives you a certain sense of security, since you find no traces of anything having been moved in this. There's also very little in terms of signs you find that someone's been anywhere.
Okay.
As the three of you make your way down the chain, rattling down into the lower district.
Quick question.
Yeah.
During our flight here, that was like an hour or something. Did we have like a short rest there during that time?
During the time from the forge to Polythreme, you would have had time for it.
Okay, cool. Just noting. That's quite important for me. Okay.
It feels very important as the gate of the chain lift rattles open. And you see the lower district much as it has always been. Even more than before, there are more signs. The iconography of the machine heart everywhere. And curiously, the first sight you're met with is a little distance away from the chain lift. There are walls, almost like barricades with large gateways between them. And at these gateways into the lower, you see plenty.
Friends.
So as you see other people sort of moving in and out to the chain lifts, you see that it's almost as if they're crossing the border into a diff where they are thoroughly examined. People with large carts, their wares are taken off the carts, some of the crates cracked open even by these silver. As you look around for any trace of the smell, Silas, you see none. Almost like you'd expect it is. The lower district, even more so than any other of the districts, is awash with smells. Smoke from the forges, from the millions of people sort of, working and toiling. You would be fairly certain right now that trying to find a fading, faint smell down here would be impossible. By now, it's completely intermixed with the other smells, or faded. From here on out, you'd be searching blind. You could very well, in enclosed spaces like houses or at doors still find vague traces of it, but it is like searching a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. Yeah, Red and Tux, you would probably see Soleil sniffing a little bit around and just looking around and see an increasing frustration on his face. He doesn't seem to know which direction to go.
I think we might need a good reason to get through those checkpoints.
Leroy can scry on him.
That's a great idea.
That is, you guys and your magic. That sounds like a very good idea, because I, to be honest, I have no idea where to look from here on out. So maybe we
Hey.
should try that.
We found out he was in the lower district last. That's helpful.
Yeah, that's something.
It's a place to start.
I can also walk around, and if he's like, if he's like close, I can locate him. If he's within 1,000 feet of me.
Very specific number.
But maybe
sounds
with
good.
with the scrying first, we can like locate like a general direction or something, and then afterwards we can go there and use your 1,000 feet radar.
What's a radar?
Yeah, what's a radar? I was about to say, like, do I even know what a radar is? Probably not.
No, probably not.
But
Magical
Right.
sonar.
really tired right now.
Yes, same.
Hux is still on 2 levels.
Yeah, I know someone who might have some exhaustion as well.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I downed that one potion, so I'm looking really good actually. After that short rest, he's like looking like pristine actually. But yeah,
I think it goes without saying I've been mostly floating around, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess. I mean, don't really have much of another choice, right? Also, like the last, like we fought one of these guys back down in the mine, right? One of these silver thingies. And
Yeah.
back then, I think he had True Sight. Was it? Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay. And
And
then-
also remember that when you cast magic, they seem to sense.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I was about to say, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't cast magic if I just put on my cloak. That's it's still magic probably, but yeah. But that doesn't do anything then, so can't even sneak past them if I wanted to right now. Guess we go back,
Yeah.
get a
I'm
good
not-
good night's rest, and then we can scry in the morning and see if we can somehow find out where he is.
Okay.
I could talk to that bush there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'll bet that there's some plants that are very mad Aelith has not watered them.
Like the way to the venerable swordsman probably looks like it's also like at some point there's like these.
This cordon
Things, right.
essentially extends in a circle around the center.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to enter the lower district, you would have to.
Unless we jump off the edge.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
We can fly, so
true.
I mean, what are they even checking?
we can teleport.
You're not exactly sure what they're searching for, if they're searching for anything specific. You see them thoroughly searching crates and wares, but you also don't see them really take anything or bar anyone from entering or leaving.
So
As
yeah,
they
maybe we can just
conduct
walk
a
past,
search
let them like check on
the
us,
cart,
and
the
be
cart
like, it's
simply
fine.
passes by.
I'm not interested in finding out if something does go wrong. At least not today.
Fair. Probably better if we're like at full force. like with Abelin and with all your capabilities. So you look
Yeah.
kind of shitty, you two, to be honest. So
Thanks.
Pretty tired.
all right, let's go back.
Speaking of which, I happen to know where there's a jeweler sort of on our way where I can buy some diamond dust in the Mediocre district. I need to buy some
take
diamond dust.
the chain lift back up and make a quick detour. It sounds like to
If you don't mind.
the shopping district, commercial district.
We also
Yeah.
need to buy dinner, because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ball bearings I would take too if we found some.
You take one of the chain lift back and feel immediately a little bit more at ease. And probably take around the rest of the hour to do some grocery shopping and diamond dust shopping. Which I guess diamond dust is kind of a grocery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could argue it's perishable.
Yeah, yeah. And then head back to Quartermains.
Getting some diamond dust is no problem in the Medial district. I'm assuming you're not buying like an extraordinary quantity.
I don't know, is 500 a reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easily.
Yeah.
If it's not like, you know, if you were like, I want 30k of diamond
No,
dust,
no,
then
no.
I'd be like, I don't know if they have that much. Yeah, 500 is no issue.
It's like we want to swim in diamond dust.
And on the way back, you buy some groceries, some fresh food.
Hmm.
And return to Quartermains.
Do I see any down and out shady looking fellows that look like they might be able to cook? I'm joking.
I
Currently,
can't.
as it is, you know, you arrived evening, now it's sort of getting early night. There's not that many people.
No,
So
I'm joking. I'm not.
Are there like
immediately
are there like food stands or something?
Rhett is very much hoping to be able to find Aelith, not just hire
you
a random
certainly
pirate
still
again.
find people selling food as well. Some people selling cooked foods as well.
Yeah, I mean, in case we do not find him, we can at some point like try a couple things here, and the one that tastes best we can make an offer to or something.
Yeah, it sounds a little premature, but yeah, sure.
Or you
I mean,
could-
for now we're of course gonna do everything in our power to find him, but I mean,
Yeah.
Scry should help, to be honest. Scry should help.
For sure.
As you arrive back at Quartermains, you probably find a lot of the candle lit and many of the doors open. As you're probably looking around,
Mhm. Yeah.
still see Abelin just sort of moving around the place.
Oh, hello, Ed. What are you doing here?
Wait, are you cleaning?
No.
Oh, good.
I'm sure you'll take care of that.
What are you doing then?
I'm looking.
For Aelith or?
Think he's hiding?
No, I doubt Aelith is actually here.
Yeah, I know.
You know what?
it's true.
I've been thinking that on at least a couple of occasions, it seems like there are individuals out there that have information on us that they shouldn't have.
Ah, yes.
And so I was double checking and looking around the house to make sure that it was secure, or that there was no signs of anyone having potentially gathered information previously. Also, potentially curious of Aelith is connected to that.
That is a possibility.
But I haven't found any signs of any.
Okay.
We have also lost somehow. Yeah, the trace. We just made it to the lower district. That's where it ended. So somewhere there, and I think Hux wants to help tomorrow by like using a spell to find them.
Tomorrow, I could also ask God if Aelith was spying on us.
I'd appreciate it if you asked
Sure.
us that.
Um,
Evelyn is like
Yeah.
so like, sure, you go right ahead.
yeah, sure. Ask your god.
Which god? Out of curiosity?
Like,
Yeah.
You're just gonna put out
Yeah, I never
broad
even
band.
know you were like a person that was with the gods.
well, usually I just like, think of like a star in the sky, and then I ask the question, and then I get like an answer.
To be fair, that sounds more realistic than most religions.
True.
Yeah, yep, go ahead. Sounds
Sometimes
good.
I think of like a big tree, because big trees seem like they know a lot.
They probably have seen a lot. When they're big, that means they're old, right?
Can't say that I've ever talked to a tree, so it could be.
They... Not about great conversation. But not so much.
Before you met us, were you talking a lot to like plants and stuff?
Yeah, plants and animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mostly.
Not too surprising, to be honest.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
We brought back some dinner that's just pre-made. So we'll put
Wonderful.
that in there. Yep.
Perhaps then rest for the lot of you.
Alright, just looks at the kitchen. It's like, yeah. I'll have wildfire back tomorrow. I'll take care of the kitchen, I think. It's kind of a lost cause.
Before I go to
That was a joke.
before Soleil would go to bed, he would definitely take out the rotting stuff at least to like get the
Yeah.
smell out of the house.
Where do you put it though?
I don't know, outside on the street, just away.
Soleil, just open your bag.
Oh
I'm
yeah!
doing this.
Oh Hux! Hux! You wanna help?
Huxley!
Doesn't Suxley not necessarily?
He doesn't consume anything.
Yeah, I know, but I
Yeah,
guess.
it just mushes it up, like, so as you start going through the kitchen, all of it is sort of old and rancid. Nothing is particularly fully liquefied or anything like that yet, but everything is old. The potatoes have started to sprout, and yeah, I mean Suxley would definitely
I'll give him some potatoes.
turn those into mashed.
Wasn't it Hilay? Suxley is the
Hilay,
insect?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Suxley's
But yeah, Hilay would. How can you not remember the names of all the weird things we collect?
and you start stuffing things into your bag of devour.
Yeah, I would hold the bag of devouring just under Hilay while Huxley is feeding Hilay, so it's just it just
You throw
help.
out a large amount of what's up here and into it. As you sort of make your way around, you also see there's a pan that has completely just a blackened, charred substance inside of it, as well as a pot that also does not smell very good.
I'm just
in
gonna throw
the
those
bag.
away.
that look like maybe failed attempts at cooking. And what you find in, of course, the freezer below still seems all fine as well. And of course, there's some preserved stuff in barrels at the head end.
Yeah, just throw the
But
stuff
most of
away
the
that
fresh stuff
looks
that
bad.
had been there and is definitely no longer. You take care of. The smell still lingers, and it's definitely uncomfortable to even, clean out.
Yeah, I'm gonna open some windows and stuff to, like, at least get this.
Already getting better.
Like Huxley at the front feeding everything to Hale, and then Silas catching it with the bag, and then behind him like Rhett casting prestidigitation to clean out the
All the stuff that he doesn't catch.
Mhm. Teamwork, that's what it is.
Yeah. Before we start that job, I'm gonna do some diamond dust. I think actually. Yep. By that I mean greater restoration myself.
Is there anything else you do before you sell it?
Did I get a runner back or a message or anything from him?
Right. So, I mean, as you
She isn't. I realize it's
I'm
late.
assuming you
today,
wouldn't
so-
immediately to the kitchen.
Yeah, we'd eat dinner. I think first. Maybe.
Oh.
It seems like
Then
Reginald
as
hasn't
you-
eaten in a day or two.
Okay. So as you start
Uh,
sort of, settling in, you brought back groceries, and I guess you would have already started cleaning out the kitchen. You would hear a knock.
I'll open it and check to make sure it's not a shapeshifter in disguise.
Yeah,
Which I can't do.
You'd see Priya.
Hello, hello, come in.
Hey, I didn't know you'd come back so soon.
Yep.
So you see it?
Not yet. We haven't been out to see the
Right.
freighter. Had a bit of an unexpected thing here.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
The part in the lower district.
Yeah. Can you fill us in a little bit more on what you've seen the last couple of days? Oh, hang on. Yep, here she is.
Yeah, sure. A couple of us went down to check it out.
Uh-huh.
'Cause, all you see up here really is like a big hole and some rubble.
Right.
Well, I mean, you see more rubble in the lower district, but they've put up fences because there's a lot of sick people, and they're not letting anyone close.
Is that what the... Is that what the checkpoints are for? Down by the chain lift?
Huh? Oh no, that was just so. Right. So after it happened, the guard went down to investigate, like the
Uh-huh.
the yellow, black.
Oh,
sky.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have taken my shirt off, by the way.
Oh.
Point at it.
And anyway, so there was they almost fought type situation,
Huh.
and I think it was shortly after that they put up they're searching everyone goes in and out. I don't
Yeah, for
know what
what?
they're looking for. It's not like anyone's going to So a couple of the people at the college thing, they're just sort of showing. It's like a display of dominance. Like, hey, we're here or something.
Mm.
But I mean, I don't know. They might be looking for they haven't really let anyone into this sort of the quarantine, so it's not like the sickness is contagious or anything. There's plenty of sick people after that made it out. There's some in the Mediocre district too.
How do you know it's not contagious?
Oh, I mean, if it was, a lot more people would have gotten sick since then. But it's like people got
Oh,
sick and then they just stayed sick, but no one else got sick.
I know exactly what you mean.
Because
And
there's
they're
people
not
in
letting
the
anyone in?
hospital are sick up here in the
Yes,
Medio,
yep.
and they're not quarantined. So it's
No.
weird that they quarantined down there.
Who exactly is maintaining the quarantine?
Well, the
The silver guards.
silver things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could kind of see it when we went down. There's a lot of rubble and there's like a crater.
Huh. Why would they set some... It reminds me a lot of that sickness that I felt, with that blood I call it blood, but that had decayed. That hurt Soleil or Silas as well at one time.
Right.
Sickness, she's talking about sounds a lot like that. It's like a metallic taste in your stomach or mouth, or I don't know how to describe it. Has anyone talked about symptoms like that?
Metallic?
Yeah,
No,
like
not-
tasting metalish? Or, I don't know.
I mean, I've
There was
tasted that
something
when I
in
got
the
hit.
Paper. It was
Okay.
like pain, fever,
Yeah.
seizures,
Yeah.
and just generally wasting away. But
Yep.
it's also non. I mean, I don't really know this, but it doesn't sound like people are dying. That they're just really
Not yet.
weak.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay, that's helpful.
Otherwise, how go your studies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say, we started, progressing through the songs and the ballads. I started working on some stuff. So the other, some of the teachers told me about a thing you made with them.
False fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was working on something too, but it's obviously not ready, and I probably shouldn't have mentioned it.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
don't really want to show anything of it yet, but
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. So you're going well. Do you have spare time?
uh,
Here and there?
doing as much as usual.
Okay. That's good. Maybe you can help me get the word out to some of the, I don't know, sympathetic people, perhaps?
About what?
Well, I don't think that explosion was a coincidence, especially with what you just said.
Oh, okay.
There's a group of...
Should we do
I
this
had-
in the door? Should we?
I shut the door behind you, it's fine. Well, I think it's fine. You didn't find any listening devices in here, right? You said?
No. But we could go sit down if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, we can sit down. Sorry, I almost died to one of those. Anyway, we'll get into it.
He's a bit out of it.
I did some diamond dust already.
Hello, Ren.
Hey, Reginald. Good to see you well. I hope dinner sat with it.
You too.
Yeah. Sorry about Aelith's disappearance.
Oh, it's a little bit of tardiness is to be excused.
Yeah, hopefully that's all it
Show up
is.
eventually. Hello. So welcome back, Evelyn. Fuller here.
Reginald, Riel, Reginald, Watermain, the illustrious wizard.
Yes. Pleasure. You are
From the college?
oh, a barn. I see. Not really my preferred subject of study, but I suppose it's still a good deal better than some more nefarious like warlocks. And at least it's a way of studying for knowledge.
Indeed, indeed. As I was saying,
Right. Yeah, you were saying?
I don't know how to put it this well. I believe that Polythreme is now at war with a faction.
Again?
People like to... Yeah, yes, indeed. But the problem being, it's some of the faction is very much like the Silver Tyrants, except that it's not. I don't know. It's not. Maybe you can explain this better, Evelyn. It's like the Silver Tyrants, but they're highly intelligent. Example: the people that attacked Quartermains. I'm sure you've heard about them.
I heard something about them.
I suspect there will be more attacks. So it would be helpful to me to hear about anyone or anything to do with a highly intelligent silver people being around and any interactions with them. And for people to be on their guard for such attacks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask around.
Especially, obviously, talented people in the magic circles, such as bards and/or wizards, or even warlocks, despite what Reginald says.
Warlocks only ever serve their own purpose or whatever nefarious purpose is given to them.
Why, yeah,
Very little
given
self-agency.
sure, but they like staying alive.
Clearly.
You know. Anyway. And also, if you happen, oh, then you won't know him. Never mind. Yeah, that's the main thing, I think. Anything to add, Evelyn?
Not really. We're mostly trying to make sure that we can help ease some of the unrest between
Well, I can
peers as much as
certainly,
possible.
Yeah.
get the word out with the students, but I mean, the teachers know you a lot better. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll talk to them, that's fine. But at a certain level, it's helpful to have people at the lower level that are more out and about sometimes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Know what's going on, yeah. Yep. Oh, right, that was the other thing. Sending. I never bothered to learn that one for some stupid reason. Would you
Yeah,
mind trying to send a message to a gentleman named Ayler? Here is one of his boots, if that's helpful.
Here is one of his boots. Oh,
Is that
Perhaps
helpful?
not tonight.
an actual boot.
I just want to check if he's I just need I don't know how to say this. We're concerned about what happened to him.
I mean, I can try. Do you wanna just? So it works a lot better when I know more about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might be worth initially seeing if Ox's method doesn't work effectively first.
That's true, because he won't know you either, and he'll just be like, "Why is there someone in my head talking to me?"
Brielle is sort of just looking at the two of you.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we
go ahead.
may see if potentially down the line we can't use your gift of sending.
I
Quite talented.
can send to you tomorrow, and you can tell me if you still need more sending.
Sounds great. But yeah, you can give me a sending either way. Give me an update if you do hear anything. Yep. That'd be helpful. Thanks.
Otherwise, no issues with your education, with schooling. No additional funds needed or anything along those lines.
No, not funds. No, everything's going great.
Good.
Good, good.
Rhett has an eye for talent, so if he believes that you are talented, I have every faith that you will be easily one of the most talented bards out there.
That's quite a compliment.
Thank you.
So again, if
and thank you for everything, because wouldn't
Yeah, of course.
really have been at the college at all.
well, sometimes it just comes down to who you know and being able to have the right resources. So if you find yourself needing resources, whatever the need, just make sure to reach out to us. That's what we're here for.
Yep. Any items, for example? If you think of things,
Items?
just give us. Yeah, like you're making items. If you would find, I don't know exactly what, but
Oh, all right. Yeah. No, nothing at the moment. No.
Sure. But if you come across something or some piece of information,
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you.
yep. Or if you need to know something, if you come across something weird and you're like, it seems related, but I don't know about it, reach out first. All right, I am gonna fall over, so I need to go. Thank you for coming by, though.
Of course.
Evelyn will walk her
I got the
out
college.
Yeah.
and play the courteous one for a half a second.
Red got a second win when he was talking to his mom, and I was like, I'm dead.
And you watch as Brielle leaves out the door and makes her way back to the center as well as the Sonsberg College. Down the road. Until she's out of sight.
Right. Well, I think it's a good time to call it tonight. You two?
Yes.
Agree?
Yeah, as you come out there, you can see Silas stand right next to Winona, and he still has no idea how magic really works. So he's trying to cast Speak with Animals to her at the moment, even though she's a machine. He's just trying to talk to
It's
her.
incredible. He's so close, but so far.
And I guess he's just talking with Hux in the meantime about stuff.
I don't think it works on things that are made out of metal.
But she's clearly like a horse, right? A metal horse, but well, was worth a try.
Well, we should all get some rest. I believe we're gonna have a long day tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Could definitely need some sleep. Soleil comes into his room and the first thing he thinks is like, because he's been sleeping in the mansion for so long, he sees his room and the first thing is like, there need to be so many more
Where are the
pillows in
pillows?
here. Yeah, there need to be so many more pillows in here.
Something to buy the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all settle in for a long rest. And you have a long rest without any problems. Nothing interrupts you.
Hooray, I'm down to 2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh boy.
You awaken the next day. This would be a good place to end, but perhaps you wanted to do the scrying first?
Yes.
Do this crying.
You all wake up fairly early in the morning after a very deep sleep. And it's probably somewhat out of the norm for you at this point to not wake up in the mansion. What do you guys do?
Yes, as we all wake up, gather together. Easiest place to scry would either be in, like, the dining room or like in our little sitting room. Without having Reginald asking questions the entire time.
He's probably actually still in his.
Okay.
Going to do more diamond dust. I just wanted to spread it out so I
What
didn't
do
die from an
you-
overdose. I can actually get through the day without making everything a disadvantage.
Luckily, we'll very excitedly take out the orb for scrying. The crystal ball. Also, I was thinking, if I had like this big bowl of like gemstones, that would be really useful, because then I could make like a bunch of food from it, and I think that would be really, really helpful sometimes.
Why would you need a crystal ball to make food?
It's just if it has like, if it's like encrusted in gems for some reason, then when I make the food, then the food might give us all some really beneficial effect.
Oh, it's like you put the you dip the the apples in the diamond dust and then you eat
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That could be good actually, instead of snorting it. That kind of makes more sense, to be
I
honest.
see.
yeah, because we keep snorting it, and it seems kind of it hurts in the nose.
It does, yeah. Yeah, my nose is like bloody this morning.
No. Okay.
I like the idea. I like where your head is at.
Yeah,
We'll look into it.
I'm sure we can scrounge up something for that.
But it needs to be 1,000 gold pieces.
Right.
That makes
I'm
sense.
sure we can do that.
Up
Yeah,
the nose
anyways.
is more direct, but if it's in the yeah, you need more if it was coated. Yeah, that makes sense. What are you gonna do with this orb?
I've gotta look into it and think about Aelith.
Oh, do you need a shoe? Brielle didn't
Yes.
seem to notice. Oh, okay.
Yes, it's really helpful if I have
Of
his shoe.
course. Yeah. Here you go.
Oh,
It actually is, because he used to make
I know.
a wisdom save with a -2 if because I have his shoe.
nice.
It'd be better if you had like a finger. Or
Sorry,
I don't have his finger.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We can ask him about it next time if we find him.
Yeah, maybe he will give us one of his fingers. I mean, he has 10
Or
of
like-
them.
Oh,
a nail would probably be fine too.
right. Do you want your hair back? I still have some of your hair.
Oh, you can have it.
Oh, thanks.
It's a DC 15.
That is a 40 minus 1, that's a 13, which means he failed.
Okay, there's a invisible sensor created within 10 feet of him, and I can see and hear through the sensor as if I was there. And it moves with the target.
You see Aelith in a room, pacing back and forth. It's a relatively small room, though it looks relatively luxurious almost. You see Aelith in this room, pacing back and forth. And you see him every now and then move towards the door. Hold his head against it as if he's listening for something, and then return pacing.
He's alive? That's great.
Is that like a prison thingy? Like, is he
Seems
imprisoned
like it's a
somewhere?
prison.
It's a really nice prison.
Yeah.
It is. Do you recognize any of the decor? I recognize any of the decor. I can.
Well,
The
Huxley would
reasonable?
have to describe it to you.
Oh, okay. We can't all see it in there.
Actually, I don't know. Does it show in the orb directly, or can only you see it? Does it say anything?
Scrying can show to others, but I don't know. Don't you need a mirror or something for that? I don't
Well, it's an
remember how
orb
that
of
works.
scrying.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it says you can see or and hear
Okay.
through the sensor. It doesn't say it shows it
Mhm.
in
Right.
the object.
Oh yeah, it's not the spell. It's a magic item, right? That can do it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But well, in terms of details, there isn't much. There's no iconography, really. There's not much to see. You can see a chest, a candle on the table, a book, but too far away too.
I guess a message would be helpful actually now that we know that he's alive and doing well, and maybe he can tell us more if we get to contact him.
Is his attire normal? Does it look like he normally wears, clothing-wise?
He looks much like you remember him.
Does it look like dirty or torn or anything?
Give me a... What was this check? Give me a survival check.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Where's my dice? $13.
You can't really see any distinct dirt or marks on it, but something seems a little bit off about his clothes. Almost like he's wearing it somewhat uncomfortable.
It looks like his normal clothing, but something's weird about it.
His mannerism then is he anxious, excited, concerned, or calm?
He keeps putting his head at the door like he wants to get out, or no, he's listening to the door. So I guess anxious.
So do you think, having seen this place, that you could just teleport us in there?
You did give me that timepiece of travel yesterday,
Yeah,
and I
uh-huh.
did attune to it
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, well, this is a perfect place to end. Oh my god, I didn't even think of yeah. Yeah,
I
that
can
could
also
happen.
ask the gods where he is.
You could do that first, yeah.
Yeah.
And we could send it to if Rio stuff's back.
Yeah. Maybe you should ask the gods first.
Yeah,
Where he
why don't you
is.
do that? Yep. Or maybe ask the gods, is it a good idea to teleport in?
We'll write it all, and we'll do it next time. Oh my god. Okay. Well, thank you guys for sending, and we'll continue there next time. Nothing's gonna go wrong at all.
No, no.
What do you mean we're just teleporting?
We just have. That's just a good idea.
It's just a good idea.
Yeah.
Us and Vince straight into the prison.
I don't know if they're space for wind.
That's why it's a great idea.
Okay, but do make sure you write down